I was doing some research and I looked at Harvard Health and it said 50% of products advertised to Black women contain endocrine disruptors, which are those disruptors that are going to impact their hormones, increase their chance of things like cancer, infertility, etc., compared to roughly 7% that are advertised to white women. And these endocrine disruptors can impact fertility and increase their chance of getting cancer. Why is that? Why is that the case?
Speak like you love yourself. Think like you love yourself. Eat like you love yourself. And care for your natural hair like you love yourself.
Don't believe everything you see on a product that you're buying because we're being exposed to really toxic chemicals that we know cause harm.
Dr. Yvonne Burkhart is a toxicologist
whose groundbreaking research has unveiled the shocking truth about the hidden risks of toxins found in everyday products.
And what we can do about it.
We don't know what we're exposing ourselves to because by law in Europe and in the US, manufacturers do not have to disclose certain ingredients. But we finally have proof that there are links to increased rates of cancer, infertility, obesity.
Something quite startling that I read when I was going through all of your work is that beauty and hair products marketed to Black women often contain the most toxic ingredients.
Yes, that is known as environmental injustice. So that's one of the, I would say, the most tragic circumstances that we're facing as a society is that the people who are exposed to the most amount of toxins are low-income people and people in ethnic groups. And so some of these products that are marketed specifically to Black girls contain some of the worst ingredients I have ever seen. And I think it should be outlawed. Like you said, the fragrances, the endocrine disruptors, these harsh detergents, some formaldehyde releasers. Formaldehyde's a human carcinogen. What place does it have in a beauty and personal care product? It doesn't. It needs to be removed. There needs to be better regulations and better protection for vulnerable populations.
I was doing some research and I looked at Harvard Health and it said 50% of products advertised to Black women contain endocrine disruptors, which are those disruptors that are going to impact their hormones, increase their chance of things like cancer, infertility, etc., compared to roughly 7% that are advertised to white women. And these endocrine disruptors can impact fertility and increase their chance of getting cancer. Why is that? Why is that the case?
I think it has to do a lot with the types of products that certain demographics would gravitate towards. So depending on your hair type, what kind of products you might need, there really is no explanation to why these toxic chemicals are in those products in particular in such high numbers. That's really the problem, is why is it more prevalent for those populations than others? And I think this is an ongoing societal issue of environmental injustice and, to a certain extent, environmental racism.
It really is. Yeah, you said it's a form of racism and it's a form of sort of environmental injustice. Are people aware of this?
I don't think so. I think the vast majority of people are entirely unaware of this, and studies show it.
What I'm going to be demonstrating for y'all on the upcoming slides is that not only were these things not developed for us, but they also contain very harmful ingredients that are not only poisoning our scalp and breaking down our hair, but also harming our overall health, okay? And so these health harms and this scalp and hair damage are not just limited to us. If these folks want to poison themselves or want to poison their own people, let them have at it. We no longer need to participate in this. We can remove ourselves from this at any time. And we should, because none of it is good. I have people experiencing, dry skin, dry scalp, shrinking of the hair follicles, breakage of the hair, again, poisoning of the body system, the organs of the body system, disruption of the hormones, neurotoxicity, the list goes on. So, these slides that we're about to look at, I've pulled some of the most toxic ingredients that you're going to find in a lot of shampoo. No matter who's making the shampoo, these are some of the cleansing agents, the fragrance agents, and some of the cleansing agent companions that are usually present to make the shampoo perform better. I want you all to notice the health risks associated with all of these with all of these ingredients. Just go ahead and take a look. We don't need any of this. It's not good for us. Again, it's not best and highest for our overall hair care. And the better place to be if you want to use something that suds would be an all natural Castile soap, an all natural black soap, an all natural soapberry or shishkai based soap. There's so many options. When doing my research into the brands to recommend to you all in this ebook, this was circa 2022, early 2023. I reviewed over 55 brands at the time. Now I'm up to over 100 because I'm constantly looking for brands that I can confidently recommend to you all and know that they will be safe for your scalp, for your hair, for your health. But at that time when I was writing this book, I cried at the number of brands that I just could not even include in the book. And I focused on Black owned natural hair brands because in my mind, after retiring from the chair, I'm going to release this offering to those who need it. And we're going to, support our Black owned brands and, have healthy natural hair, have good health. And there were just so many brands that have so many toxins in them that I could not include that in the book. Now, this particular offering, this ebook, I update it every year so long as there is useful information to include. This year, nothing to add. It's perfect in its creation, but if you're following me on any of my other social channels, you'll be able to catch a glimpse of other brands that I confidently recommend that may not be in the book. And there are few. We definitely need more. But I just wanted you all to know that, like, this toxicologist is she's accurate and she's brave and she's rare in her field because most people are not going to blow up the spot on where they make their money. They're just, if they're even intelligent enough to spot the inconsistencies, they're just going to be quiet and make their money and, deal with whatever guilt they may or may not have about it. So I appreciate her speaking out and getting more information out to the masses.
Someone who is struggling to find the time to create your own hair care products, or maybe you just don't want to for whatever reason, and I'm not here to judge, all right? I'm here to help. There is a link below in my description box to an ebook created by Basic Opulence, who is an amazing content creator here on YouTube. She has detailed a very long, extensive list of ingredients to look out for when it comes to your hair care products. So again, her ebook will be linked below for you to check out, and I highly recommend you give it a read. It's absolutely packed with useful information about holistic hair health.
Your biggest takeaway from the ebook is called Natural Hair, Natural Life, Your Guide to Flawless Natural Hair Care and Non-Toxic Natural Hair Products. What's your biggest takeaway?
I actually have 6, but you want the biggest one?
I want whatever you want to offer us.
They're quick, I promise.
Yeah, no, I want whatever you want to offer us.
I actually printed it out, so I'm going based off of the page numbers that they were printed out for me.
Okay.
Page 15, which is section 8, the ingredient concern.
Mm.
We are all aware of what happened in 2024 when it comes to Maya. I'm not going to keep harping on that. I've done several videos about it. I even spoke to a lawyer about the lawsuit.
Yeah.
I love that section because let's say, for instance, a lot of people don't have the time to do the research.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that your book lists all of the most common concerns. So let's say, for instance, I'm at Target and my favorite hair care company has released a new collection. I can take a picture of the back of it and I can just reference your book.
Yeah.
Or if I'm on Amazon, I can screenshot, or they typically screenshot, and I can have a reference. And like you said in the book, it's a comprehensive list. It's not exhaustive.
Right.
But one thing I do want to point out was your section about perfume or perfumes.
There are studies showing that the earlier you start using cosmetic products, the higher your chance of coming down with breast cancer. And the people who had the highest prevalence were African American females. So I think it's a combination of the fact that there is some level of racism, environmental injustice, but also a cultural and societal preference for certain products.
So Black women are at the highest risk of getting breast cancer under the age of 40.
Yes.
And as a toxicologist, was there anything that you needed to relearn or re-understand based on your training that you've discovered wasn't true?
I had to relearn almost everything because as a scientist, I was trained as a toxicologist day one to follow the path that and the belief that the dose makes the poison, that the more you're exposed to a chemical, the more severe the outcome. And that's not always true.
Many corporations take advantage of the consumers without them realizing it's taking place. Over the last few years, many class action lawsuits have been filed against the makers of shampoo and hair products containing DM-hydantin and sodium lauryl sulfate. DM-hydantin works by releasing small amounts of formaldehyde causing harmful side effects, such as hair loss and scalp irritation. And SLS is an ingredient used in shampoos to trap dirt, which also causes skin to become irritated. In 2016, Johnson & Johnson acquired Vogue International for $3.3 billion and assumed ownership for the OGX hair product line. Since the acquisition, J&J has continued marketing and selling OGX hair products to both men and women seeking smooth, shiny, soft, healthy hair. Then they turn around and sell products like Rogaine, which is the brand name version of minoxidil, the over-the-counter topical drug that can help treat hair loss. But unfortunately, it's not just Johnson & Johnson who's facing these lawsuits for putting these type of ingredients within their hair care products. Here's a couple of the brands that are facing the same class action lawsuits over the last few years.
From my estimation and understanding and knowing, not even an opinion, it's living in the US and other countries, but specifically the US, the standard for what is allowed in our food, our personal care products, which includes hair products, is very, very low. It is not respective or considerate of what is best overall for human health and the planet, such that there are harmful toxic substances allowed in the products that we put on our body and the products that we consume and call food. I've been getting an increase in hair healing consultations, and what I am noticing is around years 4 to 6, some of my new clients are experiencing breakage. They're experiencing thinning. They're losing density even though they're gaining length. Some are even losing hair at the scalp. And so they are reaching out to me to figure out why. And of course, my hair healing plans encompass some dietary changes, right? Because I want to make sure you're getting the proper nutritional support. But what I want to make sure that you all understand is that when you have a combination regimen of synthetics and natural, The natural products that you're using are only mitigating the damage that the synthetic products are doing. They are not preventing it, and they're definitely not reversing it unless you have very targeted methods that you're using. So the damage that you would see at year 2 if you were just strictly synthetic, maybe it doesn't appear to year 5 or 6. Now, these time frames will vary depending on the products that you're using and other factors. But I want to make sure that we all understand that if you want to avoid the damage, you're going to have to remove the damaging products from your regimen. There's no other way around it. You eliminate the problem, you automatically improve your results. The other piece that I think we're all forgetting here is that it's not just about hair. A lot of the ingredients in these products are impacting your hormones. They're impacting your nervous systems. They are adding toxins to your body system that contribute to cancers and other disease. So if you're ready to level up your natural hair care regimen, grab the ebook, need some one-on-one, request a hair healing consultation. A healthier hair journey awaits. This holistic health consultation is for those of you who know you want to make some improvements in your overall health, but you just need a guide along the way. Whatever it is your health goal, I'm happy to be your guide. And I thank you all for watching. I hope you found this informative. I hope it activates you to get more serious about your health, from your scalp all the way down to your toes. Your health is your divine gift and your earthly responsibility. Let's journey together to the highest version of yourself. I will see y'all on the next one.